channel. Today we will discuss the syllabus of English literature from net examination point of view. Yes, the syllabus is vast, but if we systematically break down the syllabus, we will be able to complete the syllabus within a stipulated period of time. You guys can also check out my previous video regarding my personal experience while I appeared for these examinations, that is NET, SET as well as SPED examination. Let us jump right into it. The first major section of the syllabus is none other than British literature. British literature can be further divided into 11 subdivisions. Now, the first era that you need to focus upon is Old English or Middle English age that spans from 500 to 1300 AD. Here you need to focus upon the Anglo-Norman and Anglo-Saxon influences on English language. Anglo-Norman means how French language influenced English language. After this age comes the age of Chaucer. Age of Chaucer spans from 1380 to 1480. Chaucer was regarded as the first national poet of England, alright, and he has transformed the English language and made English language worthy of literary merit because of his writings. Followed by the age of Chaucer, we have the age known as the Revival, the Age of Revival, that spans from 1400 to 1450 AD. Here you need to focus upon the popular biblical translations that took place. That Bible was translated from Greek to English. It was translated from Latin to English by various priests like John Wycliffe or William Tyndale, etc. After this age comes the Elizabethan age. Elizabethan age is between 1450 to 1550 AD. Now, this is the age when Renaissance started, the movement of Renaissance started gaining more prominence. And from this age onwards, bifurcate or divide the writers according to different genres. Some writers can be dramatists, some writers can be poets, etc. For example, in case of dramatists, we have Shakespeare, Christopher Marlowe. In case of poets, we have Spenser's sonnets or Philip Sidney, etc. After this comes the Jacobin or Caroline age that spans from 1550 to 1600 AD. The representative figure of this age is Ben Jonson, who has written various plays like Volpone, The Alchemist, etc. After the Jacobin or Caroline age comes the Civil War or interregnum period that spans from 1600 to 1640 AD. Now, this particular era is regarded as a turbulent period in terms of English literature because the secular literature was banned. The literature that was produced in this era was mainly associated with religious themes or it contained religious elements. That's why we have Milton, John Milton, who has written this beautiful epic called as the Paradise Lost. After this age comes the Restoration age that spans from 1660 AD to 1700 AD. Now, this is a time when literature flourished especially in England because monarchy was restored in England. Charles II who was in exile in France, came from France and was restored to the throne of England, and he brought a lot of French influences and also applied or adopted them in English literature. The representative writer of this age is none other than John Dryden. He was a famous satirist and he wrote the first mock heroic of English literature, that is Mac Flecknoe. After Restoration age comes the Enlightenment age. The Enlightenment age is between 1700 to 1800 AD. The representative writer of this age is none other than the prolific writer called as Alexander Pope, alright, and his famous work known as The Rape of the Lock. Now here, the Enlightenment age was an age when literature was produced or literature was worthy of its merit when when the writers imitated the classical Roman as well as Greek writers. They gave more importance to logic and reason rather than the essence within literature or the meaning within literature. They gave more importance to the structure of writings or the structure or form of poetry, etc. After the Enlightenment age comes Romantic age. The Romantic age spans from 1800 to 1850 AD. This age corresponds its values, or it derives its values from French Revolution's ideals, the ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity. And the main or the pioneers of this particular this movement is none other than William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge, and their publication of lyrical ballads in the year 1798. After the age of Romanticism, we have the age known as the Victorian age that spans from 1850 to 1900 AD. Now, this is an age which is called as the age of contradictions. And another major important point that you need to focus here is that it is the emergence of female novelists during this era. We have various female novelists like Emily Bronte, Jane Austen, then we have George Eliot. Her real name is Mary Ann Evans, but she took on a male pseudonym called as George Eliot. After this age comes the modern age that spans from 1900 to 1950 AD. And finally, we have the postmodern age that spans from 1950 to 2000 AD. Now, this is the end of British literature. After British literature, we have American literature. American literature can be further divided into 4 sections. First is early American literature. Here it is very easy. You just need to gain a basic understanding of the letters that was written by the founders of America. After this comes the American writers of Romantic age. Like my favorite writer is Nathaniel Hawthorne and his famous novel known as The Scarlet Letter, or the poet known as Walt Whitman. After this comes the American writers of modern age, followed by American writers of postmodern age. The next section of the syllabus is post-colonial literature. Post-colonial literature is equally important because in the recent exams there have been there have been questions that have been asked from post-colonial literature very frequently. Now, here you need to focus upon African writers, then we have to focus upon the Caribbean and Colombian writers, and writers of British diaspora is very important, like Salman Rushdie, Sham Salvador Rai are some writers that are under the British writers of British diaspora. So here you need to focus upon the Canadian literature, the African literature, the Caribbean and Colombian literature. After post-colonial literature comes the Indian English literature. Here you need to divide Indian English writing before independence and Indian English writing after independence. Well, as I'm talking about Indian English literature, there has been a new addition to the syllabus, that is evolution of English in India. That is very important. At least 2 or 3 questions come from that section. So here you need to lay emphasis upon the laws that was passed by the British government while it was ruling in India, or by the Indian government for the promotion of English language. We have various laws like Gokhale's Bill, the Wood Dispatch Mission, Macaulay's Minute, etc. Macaulay's Minute is a speech delivered by Thomas Macaulay, that exhorted or that vouched, that promoted, that he wanted to promote English language in India. After that, we have to focus upon the European literature. Here you need to just get a basic understanding of the main famous works of Russian literature, Italian literature, French literature, and finally some basic understanding of the classical Greek as well as the Roman literature. Finally, we have the literary theory and literary criticism. It is very important to understand literary theory and literary criticism, but there is a slight difference between what is literary criticism and what is literary theory. We have in case of literary theory, we have formalism, structuralism, post-structuralism, ecofeminism theories, queer theories, etc. In case of Criticism, we have the publication of lyrical ballads in 1798 that actually started the Romantic movement, or the essay on dramatic poesy, which is regarded as like, an essay on criticism, one of the prominent essays on English literary criticism. After this comes the literary movements and literary terms. Please study the literary movements thoroughly, because it is going to help you in the long run. Even if you do not know the answer of one particular question, if you do know the literary movements that exist in a particular time period, you will gain a significant understanding of the common ideas, as well as the variation in styles between writers. For example, in case of Victorian age, we have the movement known as pre-Raphaelite movement in English poetry, which is slightly, deviant from the mainstream Victorian ideals. All right, or in case of modern age, we have various literary movements like the movement known as surrealism, stream of consciousness novel, etc. And finally, we also need to focus upon the basics of linguistics, as well as teaching aptitude and research methodology of English language. Now, research methodology is a very important important portion that you need to focus if you are preparing for a PED examination, because there will be a lot of questions that would be asked from research methodology. Like, for example, in case of ELT, you need to gain the basic understanding of the direct grammar translation method, the direct method, situational approach, etc. Well, I hope you understood the syllabus of English literature. I have tried to explain the syllabus in a very compact manner rather than stretching it out. I hope you guys prepare well for the examination. I hope it will be helpful for you, and all the best, and study well and prepare well. See you next time.